And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. So for those of you who gave super thanks last week, you are greatly appreciated, and we will either get to those later today or tomorrow for sure. But anyway, so the topic of today's video, I'm not particularly a fan of the WNBA. However, to me, the WNBA and LeBron James has something in common. And that is they're constantly begging for something to which they don't deserve. They're constantly talking about the need for more money and popularity and advertisement. And yet it seems they constantly do things to work against their own interests, much like LeBron James. It's like this guy is constantly begging us for respect, constantly putting out narratives to try to make it seem as if he's actually in the GOAT conversation. And yet, the way he plays on the court is working against his own interests. So I was scrolling through YouTube, came across this clip of Stephen A. Smith getting pretty brutally honest. Forgive me, I never can remember the girl's name, Obumake or something like that. But getting brutally honest with them about the Olympic team's decision to not put Caitin Clark on there. And again, I don't keep up with the WNBA enough to know who should or shouldn't be on the team. But I do know this, strictly from a marketing standpoint. If you are trying to grow the league of the WNBA, to me, that's a no-brainer. It shouldn't even be a question whether Caitin Clark should be on there or not. At this point, it's like you've been complaining for years about the ability to make more money, and yet when the opportunity presents itself, everybody wants to get all high and mighty and talk about, oh, well, she doesn't deserve to be on there for this reason or that reason. At this point, it doesn't matter. But anyway, let's get into this clip with Stephen A. Smith.
None of what Janae and Andrea said was inaccurate. And I'm going to say something to you that I have said on many, many occasions. It's not that you're wrong. It's that we don't care. Everything y'all said does not matter for this particular instance. We don't want to hear anything about Team USA. We know they won 7 straight goals. Put Andrea and Janae up on this screen. I want to look at them this whole segment when I'm talking to them. You just highlighted 7 straight gold medals. Oh my God. We're really worried that they're not going to get an 8. Oh, we really worried. I mean, we got to make sure that spots 1 through 12, every single spot that is picked. I mean, it's got to be, because it's pivotal, Shannon. I don't know if you noticed, Shannon, it's pivotal. I mean, they won 7 straight. They might not get 8. They might not get 8. Stop it. You know good and damn well, with or without Caitin Clark, they going to probably win the gold again. That's not what this conversation is about. This is about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. And I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to. Like I said, at this point, to me, it should be strictly a business decision. It's like, do you want to grow women's basketball or not? Do you want to take this opportunity to grow women's basketball or not? Because again, I'm not a big I can say I'm not a WNBA fan at all. I've tried to watch WNBA games at different points in my life, and it is just, for me, it's unbearable. It's noticeably slower, Again, the lack of athleticism. And again, it just seems like the WNBA just rejects anything that could possibly actually grow the game. You know, people have talked about lowering the rim so they could dunk. Is that the sole answer? I don't think that's the sole answer, but I think that is part of the answer. You know, I think that helps. Again, if we're looking back on the NBA and we're talking about Magic and Bird saving the league, and we're talking about Michael Jordan building up on that and taking the league to a place where we never see it. Well, why did that happen? Partly it's because of Michael Jordan and the will of Michael Jordan, but you know, part of it is the athleticism of Michael Jordan. Part of it is him flying through the air and hanging in the air and having that visually pleasing game to draw people's eyes. But like I said, the other part of it is just Michael Jordan's will and determination that the guy just, it never seemed like you could beat him. You know, he just had that will to keep going. And as long as there was some seconds on the clock, you know, he felt that it was possible for him to win. So he made everybody else feel that that was possible too. But yeah, so, you know, like I said, Michael Jordan's high-flying ability definitely played a part in his popularity. You know, Air Jordan, be like Mike. And this is the same thing when people are suggesting, hey, lower the rims so at least you can look more athletic. You know, I think this is a part of it as well. But again, you know, talking about Caitin Clark, you know, here's somebody who has a buzz. So to not capitalize on that and not do everything in your power to capitalize on that is just ridiculous. It's stupidity.
Why it's stupid. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitin Clark does not deserve a spot ahead of any of the players on this roster, okay? If we're talking just basketball, you know we're not. You know we're not. Let's harken back to the Dream Team in 1992. Remember when Christian Laettner was on that squad? Forget the other pro players. Forget the pro players. Forget the pro players. That's a given. First time NBA players were allowed to participate. Don't put that damn screen up when I'm talking right now. I want to see Shanae and Andrea, okay? The point is this. Those rosters, right? Those players were on there. Do you know that Christian Laettner also was chosen ahead of Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning? You know why? He was a two-time national champion. He was a Wooden Award winner. And he was white. And he had his own cachet. He brought it to the table. He was a big-time collegiate player who was white and busting people's you know what. They couldn't miss. And they didn't need him. You had Jordan. You had Magic. You had everybody. And you still picked that dude. Why? It wasn't because of basketball, even though he had the basketball credentials. It was because of something else. And they didn't need DePaul. But the WNBA does.
And yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like I said, looking back at if anyone remembers being back in that time, and I definitely remember, I believe we were all thinking, like, why is Christian Laettner on this team? There were so many people who could have been ahead of Christian Laettner. But, you know, again, putting Christian Laettner on there was some sort of business decision. Now, it doesn't really, it's not quite the same in the sense that Christian Laettner wasn't the most popular person in the NBA. But again, it's like, you know, the NBA is thinking from a business perspective, whereas the WNBA is not thinking from a business perspective. And here's the thing, you know, first of all, the WNBA keeps trying to compare itself to the NBA, which is ridiculous. I think Stephen A. said something like the women deserve to get more or something. It's like, nah, if we're being fair, they deserve exactly what they're getting. Because in entertainment, you get what people are willing to pay for, or really in anything. You know, that's a product, or that depends on people buying your services or product that determines how much you are worth. So it's like they're getting what they deserve. But they keep trying to compare themselves to the NBA. And here's the thing. It's like when basketball was growing, I don't recall there being this constant complaining about how much basketball pays. Again, going back to the days where the players had to actually work a second job with basketball. Like, that was part of it. But however, the WNBA is in a different position in this sense, that the groundwork has already been laid for the WNBA, and they still can't get anywhere, which to me, that tells you that nobody wants to watch the WNBA. So stop comparing yourself to the WNBA. I mean, to the NBA. It's like the NBA can sell itself. The NBA sold itself with, players who could do amazing things. It's like, that's never going to be the case in the WNBA. So if you actually want to do something, you have to really be much more strategic in how you market, much more strategic in the opportunities that you take to actually grow the game. And again, this whatever you think about Caitin Clark, again, I hadn't been keeping up with her in the NBA, but whatever you think about her, she does have the buzz. So again, to me, it's a no-brainer that she should be on the Olympic team.
Had a max salary at $250,000. You had attendance, although it was trending in the right direction, certainly wasn't where you wanted it to be. And as Shannon pointed out, just the other day, you got a team in the Indiana Fever with their struggling selves, struggling to win a damn game and be relevant. No team in the WNBA was worse other than the winless Washington Mystics, okay? And they went from 4,000 in attendance to 17,000. This girl is box office. I said a rising tide lifts all boats. What you do, especially if you're Team USA and you're trying to be globalized, and there's an opportunity to globalize the WNBA brand. So people like Brittany Griner, God bless her soul, and others don't have to go to Russia in the off season to play additional basketball to get extra income. They could stay right here if the sport elevates its popularity and you ladies start getting what you richly deserve. I'll even get a bit personal to Janaea Gumake and Andrea Carter. I recognize the fact that y'all are outstanding basketball analysts. You know how I feel about both of y'all. I told you privately, I've told the world publicly. I think y'all are a tag team for the ages. I think y'all are spectacular. But as spectacular as you are about talking the game of basketball, is that why you think I call for you to be on First Take? It ain't just because of your expertise. It's because you're great television. You matter. You draw an audience. This man, I don't even call Shannon anymore unless I'm teasing him about the Saturday Night Live skit. It's the truth, Shannon. That's the only time I call him Shannon. You know what I call him now? I call him Shay or Shay. Why? Because damn it, that brand is growing. You understand what this man has done to help lift First Take? I ain't apologizing. You make decisions. Marketing. I want people watching. I want eyeballs. I want advertising dollars. Why? Because he'll get paid. Y'all will get paid. And guess who else will get paid? You see where I'm coming from?
All right, we're going to hold up here. But yeah, I think Stephen A. said it perfectly. The rising tide lifts all boats, so to speak. I think that was a good analogy. But yeah, him talking about, hey, I hired Shannon Sharpe because of, the audience that he brings and whatnot. So, again, I feel like this whole thing of the WNBA keep comparing themselves to the NBA and what the NBA has gotten is like, the WNBA has been around for what, 20 years, more than 20 years, and it's still not growing. And they keep trying to say, it's 20 years young. But here's the thing, like I said, the NBA's laid the groundwork. It's not like they're blazing a new trail in something. It's like there are successful basketball leagues. So again, I think the WNBA, it just is what it is. People aren't interested in the product. So you have to find something else. Like I said, whether it's lowering the goals, capitalizing off Caitlin Clark, like I said before in another video, wearing some more outfits that accentuates them being women, whatever it is, that's what needs to happen. And, again, you can't fool the consumer. This is something Michael Jordan has said, and we've said this over and over again on the channel. You can't fool the consumer. So there will never come a day where we're looking at the WNBA and thinking, oh my goodness, they're just as skilled as the NBA. That day is never going to come. So you have to find other ways to make the sport watchable. Again, kind of you can compare it to LeBron James shoe sales versus Michael Jordan. A lot of LeBron James fanboys like to say, oh, well, Michael Jordan was made by Nike and blah, 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 blah. It's like LeBron James has no excuse for not selling as many shoes as Michael Jordan, except the fact that his game doesn't sell the shoes. The way he plays doesn't sell the shoes. Because if we're talking about marketing, Michael Jordan had way less marketing back when he started. Nike was trying something new for the first time. It's like now they're established already. You have easy access to market your product globally. It's like, so Michael Jordan, a lot of things he did with Nike laid the groundwork for these other athletes. So it's like, no, you can't blame LeBron James shoe sales. Speaking of that, just a side note, I still don't know what LeBron James shoes look like. If I saw him, I wouldn't know him. But yeah, you can't blame LeBron James' lack of shoe sales and try to pretend that, 40 years ago when Michael Jordan first started, that, they had so much better marketing. That's ridiculous. Marketing has never been as easy as it is today. Again, Nike has way more money and power than they ever had back when Michael Jordan first started. So this whole notion that, again, that somehow Nike marketed Michael Jordan better than LeBron is the reason why LeBron's shoe sales can't compare to Michael Jordan's is ridiculous. No, the shoe sales don't compare because the games don't compare. And this is the same thing with the WNBA. Stop comparing yourself to the NBA because the games don't compare. So if the game doesn't compare, then you have to find another angle to sell the product. If you're trying to sell a Honda Civic versus a Ferrari or something, like, everybody's gonna want the Ferrari, pretty much. So you have to come up with another angle to make the Honda Civic appealing. Hondas are known to last long. Maybe safety features, but you have to appeal to something else other than a straight up apples to apples comparison, because that is no comparison. But anyway, we're gonna hold up here. Like I said, I just thought it was interesting that, especially after Stephen A's interaction with Monica last week or something, I think they had a little exchange about the WNBA. So to see him come back and give his brutally honest take about the whole Olympic thing and leaving Caitlin Clark off, I just thought it was interesting. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of Caitlin Clark being left off of the Olympic team? What do you think about how the WNBA is handling Caitlin Clark? Do you think they are maximizing this opportunity to actually grow the league? Do you think Caitlin Clark is actually an opportunity to grow the league? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.